begin Stargate transmission.
Pro.
Stargate transmissions. The Brotherhood of the Snake wants to prevent the idea that an individual is an immortal spiritual being. They want to completely have that notion eradicated and never, ever, ever brought up ever again and considered with any degree of seriousness. The Brotherhood of the Snake indoctrinate all humans that they are solely and only a biological entity. The idea that an individual is an immortal spiritual being is forbidden. Life is limited to the body, the race, the material possessions, and the immediate survival for a single lifetime. As a further reassurance, religion as a control mechanism ensures that this notion remains eternally embedded within, as an implant, as a matrix implant within all humans. For example, the Brotherhood of the Snake offered Moses a bribe that those who faithfully obeyed the All-Father were assured that they were the chosen ones. All others are lesser beings who are not favored by the All-Father and were the enemies of the people. In order to keep this secret alliance with the Brotherhood of the Snake hidden, the faithful must never intermarry or allow others into the privileged inner circle. This is the same principle that binds the secret society of the Brothers of the Serpent into a closed circle of hatred, greed, and power. Likewise, no afterlife is possible except to return to the light, to enjoy a heavenly reward, perhaps before being judged or treated at an AQERT. That's spelled A-Q-E-R-T. Literally, it's an Egyptian word that means place of death. And it is the electronic mechanism whereby souls are recycled back into the third dimension once the soul is released from the body. Thereafter, the slaves who trusted the word of Moses implicitly have worshipped a single God they call Yahweh, which means cannot be given a name. Literally, that's what Yahweh means, cannot be given a name. In their own language, the name Yahweh means anonymous. The Brotherhood of the Serpent operatives could not use an actual name or anything that would identify themselves or blow the cover of the amnesia prison operation. Yes, planet Earth can be looked at by and large as a prison planet. Definitely there is a amnesia operation that continuously recycles souls back through the same thing. That's why it's vitally important for a person to raise their frequencies, because at the time of your death, your consciousness will determine your soul's path. If you're filled with all the typical third dimensional emotions, anger, confusion, fear, anxiety, all those things that are not of a God-focused individual or a God-aware, source-aware individual, you will be recycled. You will not escape the prison planet. The last thing the covert amnesia hypnosis prison system wants to do is to reveal themselves openly to the souls. Like every human that is still a souled individual, meaning that they haven't given their soul over to materialism or sold their soul outright. Oh, that digital matrix doesn't like that. The last thing that the Brotherhood of the Serpent wants to do is to reveal themselves openly to those who are still in possession of their soul and aware, those who are awake. They feel that this would restore the inmates, talking about the prison planet inmates and their memories. This is the primary reason that all traces of physical encounters between space civilizations and humans is very carefully hidden, disguised, or denied. The Brotherhood of the Serpent operatives treated Moses on the desert mountaintop and indoctrinated him with the 10 hypnotic commands. These commands are very forcefully worded and compel an immortal being into utter subservience to the will of the operator. These hypnotic commands are still in effect and influence the thought patterns of millions of immortal souls thousands of years later. Incidentally, we later discovered that the Brotherhood of the Serpent operatives, or the so-called Yaweh, provided Moses with an encoded text in the form of a small book of laws and mythology called the Torah. When it is read literally or in its decoded form, the book will provide a great deal more false information to those who read it. As with all of the religious mythology and philosophical misinformation laid down on earth by the Brotherhood of the Serpent, one of the deadliest notions is the perverse concept of only one. All prison planet philosophies incorporate the idea that a religious group is the only one, or chosen one. That is the only correct philosophy. Naturally, this excludes and makes every other person and group an enemy. Billions of people on earth have murdered and been murdered over and over again in the countless religious wars fought between opposing only ones on earth. What better mechanism to promote warfare and chaos between the prison inmates than perpetual war between only ones? However, once your energies have risen above the third dimensional mental prison, and you are in full command of the assemblage points that lead to your heart chakra and those energies, and you are fully aware and connected back to source, in that sense, you are a only one. If you are above religious bickering and ego, illusions of the ego that tie into all that digital matrix, well, then you have escaped the prison planet. Namaste, namaskaram.